Hey everyone, welcome back. So I wanted to talk today about raising money for your business. So everyone, this is like a super popular question that everyone asks me about, like how to raise money for your business. What can you do to get some startup capital? How do you invest in yourself when you might not be working a lot of money to actually launch and start your own business? So I'll tell you, one of the things I'm really proud of is starting my business with less than $500 and growing it to a multi-million-dollar company in less than 5 years. And so I remember when I was starting my business, I definitely did not have like a large startup capital. And I remember one of my friends, like at least $10,000, I don't recommend you quitting your job and starting your own company. And at the time, $10,000 seemed so far away from anything, any amount of money that I had. And so I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to save $10,000 before leaving my 9 to 5. This conversation isn't about like leaving your 9 to 5, but it's really about how do you help your 9 to 5 like fuel your business. So you are your own investor. So today I want to give like 3 different ways that you can actually fund your business. Number 1, you can either decide to fund it yourself, use your 9 to 5, use like whatever, income that you might have to fuel your business. Number 2, I want you to think about like working capital. So either getting a working capital loan or using any kind of like investor possibly. And lastly, number 3 is doing any type of crowdfunding, any fundraising to actually gain some startup capital for your business. Startup capital and actually having your own business with your 9 to 5. What that means is like take a percentage of your paycheck and start to put it away, stash it away, and use your, a lot of us are sitting at cubicles and you're like, I'm ready to go. But use that income, use that steady income to actually fuel and push money into your business. So you can set your own goals. If you say that I want to get to a certain dollar amount before quitting my job, I want to have a certain level of stability before quitting, that's definitely up to you. But I would say if you can, use your 9 to 5. That was done to really help me to fund my business. The second type of funding or option for funding would probably come from you taking out any type of working capital loan or having any kind of like investor. I'm not saying to not bootstrap your business, or I'm also not saying that if you have the means and accessibility to a loan or any type of like line of credit, and it depends on the type of business you're building and creating, if you need investment and you think that that is the best place for you to go and actually take out a bank loan, I'm not saying don't. But what I do want you to know is really the ramifications of that. If you get an investor, if you get a loan, like the bank is an investor. The bank is like, look, I want my money back and I want it back with interest and I want it back in X amount of time. And I think that one of the reasons I decided to bootstrap my company is so that I wouldn't have that added pressure of an investor. I think a lot of times we're not sure like what our business might become. We're not sure if it's going to actually be lucrative. So going off and getting an investor felt really scary for me. But the more I know now and actually knowing like, maybe it's not best to play with your money. Maybe it is better for you to actually get any type of investment instead of using your liquid cash. It might be a smarter way. So that's why maybe a credit card or a certain line of credit might be even a better option for you to actually fund your business. I want you to also think about like just that interest rate, your credit, building your own, building credit for your business as well. There's a lot of things that you need to establish and do. Think about what is the best option for you. And lastly, number 3, crowdfunding. So we did several different options to crowdfund, but one of my biggest crowdfunding campaigns was through I Fund Women. Of course, there are other campaign platforms that you could fundraise for your business. You could do a Kickstarter, you could do an Indiegogo. And so I would recommend, I did a I Fund Women fundraiser. And what I will say about fundraising, you want to establish that there's certain amount of people that are committed to funding yours. Or I saw recently they had like business showers. I think that they're so cute, and I think they're a great idea. And so you want to have like a certain amount of people that is sort of saying like, look, I'm gonna give you $50. So, think about it. If you get 100 people committed to give you $50, or $25, whatever the amount is that you think would be a comfortable ask, I would say establish a list of people who are committed to giving you that amount. Because what I've seen with the general public is once they know that people are actually backing your project, they are more inclined to give. I don't know if it's one of those like magic tricks where your eyes are seeing things and you're like, oh, really? That person gave? This must be a really legit thing that people get a certain amount of people to contribute or to, solidify and sort of confirm that they will be contributing to your campaign. And then from there, I would start to blast it to the public. Another thing with crowdfunding, you really want to make sure that your audience is educated about what you're trying to do and what you want to use the money for. I think right now people want to make sure that, their funds, their money is going to be going towards something, something useful, beneficial. So I think that the more you incorporate the community, the more you talk about like, what is the problem you're solving? Like, how are you helping people, by doing this fundraiser, or how are you helping people by them actually giving to your business? Like, what does it do for them? Don't overpromise. So even with the incentives, if you are planning to do any kind of like give back, or if you're gonna, like I did one where I was like gifting a t-shirt, and I'm like, it caused more problems than it was for me to, people will be okay. It doesn't have to be something like physical or monetary. So think about that, because that can then cut into any margins that you might be doing to actually develop and establish like a good fundraising. I would say however much publicity that you could sort of bring in at the time will be great. So getting people to blast about it, getting people to talk about it, that is a great way to fundraise. It's difficult. I think fundraising is just not as easy, but I think the more you pre-plan, the more you get people committed to actually give into your campaign, the more you blast about it, talk about it, spread the news about it, I think is the more that people will actually support your business, and people get really excited, and also even just updating them, telling them where you are in the campaign process. I think a lot of people quit campaigning and crowdfunding because it is not easy to do. You really have to establish a plan. You even may want to say, all right, well, in the first 10 days and at the beginning of your campaign is when you really want to get the most amount of money. You want to make sure that people are giving. That way, remember what I said before, you want to make sure that at the end of the campaign, you can say, look, I raised $20,000. I got $5,000 more to go. And also, a trick of the eye is like when you know that somebody's almost there, people want to help you to get there. People want to help you close out the campaign. People want to know, I only have $100 left. Like you'll get one person who'll be like, here's a $100 bill. So I would really strongly recommend that you create a plan and that you do the 3 things that I recommended to fundraise or to help fund your business. Number 1, you want to use your 9-to-5 to fuel and help you put money into your pocket to really launch your company. Number 2, you want to think about and truly assess and also understand what will you use the money for. So if you take out a loan, if you get an investor, like what are you going to use the money for and how are you going to pay it back plus interest. And lastly, number 3 is crowdfunding. Creating a plan and really ensuring that, the audience is going to give and that they are going to be excited about what you are launching and they want to support your business. Those are 3 great ways to help you to finance and start your business.